So years ago, I got a call from an acquaintance I knew, a guy I knew who called me, needed my help with something. And I remember I told the guy, let me see what I can do. I hung up the phone and I went to my wife and I said, I really want to help this guy anymore. He's really good at asking for help, but he's not really good at reciprocating. Anytime I need some help and I ask him, he just can't do it. And I said, I'm a little bit tired of being taken advantage of. And she said, I think you should go help him. And I said, well, I mean, he's just going to do it again. And she said, well, that's all right. And I said, what do you mean that's all right? And she said, isn't it kind of nice that you're the kind of guy that he can call on if he needs help and you just go? And I said, yeah, but I do want to be that kind of guy, but I also don't want to be taken advantage of. And she said, let's talk when you get back. She sent me on my way. And I went and helped this guy, and I was a little bit, salty about it the whole time. I don't think I was very nice to him. Because, he just used to call me and get help whenever he needed it, but he didn't reciprocate. And I remember I got home, and I was a little bit salty, and I said, you know what? If I keep letting him just do this crap to me, he's going to keep doing it, and he's going to keep taking advantage of me. And she said, let me tell you what you can do so that you can never get taken advantage of again. I said, I'd like to hear that. Let me hear that. And she said, well, do things for the right reasons. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? And she said, if you're doing things because you're kind and because you're a good man, you don't need people to reciprocate. It's because you're kind and you're a good man, and that's why you're doing it. You're not doing it as a transaction to get something in return. You're doing it because you're a good man and you're kind. And it really hit me square between the eyes, because my wife was that way. Shelly was that way. She was really good at, anytime anybody needed help, she was there. And she didn't care. And if they helped her in anything, she was just always willing to help, and she was happy about it. And when somebody would call her and say, I need you, she'd run. And it made her happy for it not to be transactional, for her to say, I'm going to do this because it's who I am. And I don't care if they do anything in return for me. I'm doing it because it makes me happy to serve, and that's the kind of person I am. Now, she never said that out loud. I'm the one that said that. But I watched her as she did that, and it changed the way I learned to serve other people. Instead of it being transactional, it became who I was, and I never got taken advantage of again. And it's a good feeling. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Bye-bye.